Good morning, everyone. Today, I have a challenge for you. Imagine that our class is planning a party, but we need to find the perfect restaurant for our party. Before we begin, think about this. Have you ever attended a party at a restaurant? What did you enjoy most? Was it the food, the atmosphere, or the activities? The food, the atmosphere, activities, spending time with friends, great services, party extra. Yes, good. All of these can be important when choosing a restaurant for a party. Today, we are going to explore three restaurant party packages. Compare them and decide which one would be the best choice for our party. After that, you will use the information to write your own restaurant review. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify information from the authentic restaurant advertisement, compare different restaurant options, and write an 80 between 200 word restaurant review. So, are you ready to plan the perfect party? Let's start by looking at the three restaurant advertisements. Thank you.
Alright everyone, here are the various three party brochures. So before reading the advertisements in detail, I want you to look at them very carefully. Let's use a reading strategy called predicting. Predicting means you have to guess and also anticipate the information in the advertisement in it. Okay, based on the pictures, headings and information you can see, what do you think these advertisements are about? Yes, they are advertisements promoting restaurant party packages. Now, what kind of information do you think we can find in these brochures? Exactly. We may find information about the price, food, facilities, activities, and also the promotions. Now, look at the three restaurants again. Which restaurants do you think would be the most suitable for a party? There may be different answers, and that's okay. For now, we're only making a prediction. Now, let's read the advertisements and see whether our predictions are correct.
Good morning, students. I am teacher Rafika, and today we are doing a reading activity all about food. And by the end of this lesson, you actually get to plan a birthday party of your own by using real brochures. Let's get started. What's skimming and scanning? So before we dive in, let's quickly recap two important reading skills. First is skimming. This means reading quickly to get the general idea of a text. You don't read every single word, you focus on headings, subheadings, and also keywords. Second, scanning. This means looking through a text quickly to find one specific piece of information. For example, like a price, a time, or maybe a phone number. You'll be using both of these skills today, so keep that in mind, yes, students. Here are the three real brochures we'll be working with: Mary Brown, White House Coffee, and McDonald's. So all three offer birthday party packages, and each one has different prices, food, and also facilities. Make sure to take a moment to notice how differently each brochure is designed. Let's begin with activity 1. First, skim through each brochure to get a general sense of what it offers. Then scan carefully to answer 10 questions, a mix of multiple choice and true or false. Make sure every answer is based on details you actually find in the brochures, okay? You complete this individually on your own device using the quizzes link on screen that I shared, and you will have 8 minutes to finish this session, so work efficiently. Okay, we are done with activity 1, so now let's move on to activity 2. This time, you'll work in groups. Together, fill in this comparison table by looking at price, food, facilities, promotion, and whether each restaurant is suitable for students. Discuss with your group members as you go. Then comes the real challenge. You have 500 ringgit, and 15 students are attending the party. So which restaurant you will choose? Talk it over with your group and give 2 clear reasons for your decision, okay? You record your answer together on our shared Google Sheet. Right, let's wrap up together. First, let's go through the answer key as a class. Hold up. Who got question 3 right? Oh, you? Okay, great. Nice work. From you, which brochure did you find the 3 keys to scan? Was it Mary Brown or White House Coffee or maybe McDonald's? Okay, yes, that's a great point. Some brochures pack a lot of small details close together, which makes scanning a little bit harder. Okay, now for the groups, how did you decide on your RM 500 ringgit budget choice? Maybe group 1? Can someone tell me which restaurant your group picked and why? Yes, very interesting choice. Did any other group choose differently? Okay, group 2. Okay, that is the beauty of this activity. There is no single right answer as long as your reasons are backed up by the brochure. And finally, let's recap together. Skimming gives you the general idea, and scanning gives you the exact detail. Which one did you use more today? Both of it? Both of it? I just like, okay, exactly, a bit of both. Great work today, everyone. I really hope to see you in the next class and hope you guys find any valuable methods to use today, okay? Thank you, class. See you.
All right, students, so now is your teacher Kathy here. So since you guys have compared the 3 restaurants just now is the time to turn our ideas into writing. So our writing task today will be write a restaurant review. Okay, so what is a restaurant review? Like, what do you think it's talking about? Okay, a restaurant review is actually a piece of writing where we can describe a restaurant, or we can talk about the food and our experience in the restaurant, or we can give a recommendation. right? So what should we include in our restaurant review? What do you think? All right, so let's look at here. We actually have to include some information about the food. This is a basic one because restaurant obviously will have food, right? So you can describe the food or the restaurant or our experience and our recommendation, right? So look at the emoji here, the smile emoji. So what do you think? You can actually describe, tell us your feeling when you visit to the restaurant. So how you feel? Maybe you're satisfied with their service. Maybe the waitress have a good attitude. Yeah, they provide a good service to you. So you feel satisfied and you will suggest and recommend people to visit there again, right? Okay, so before we start writing, we are going to use a very simple writing strategy, which is plan, write, and check. So why do we have to plan before we write? We have to brainstorm and organize our idea to make our writing process smooth. All right, so this is the bubble map that I create to help and guide you all to think about what should you write about your restaurant review. Okay, so for example, we can think about the restaurant name, or maybe we can talk about the food and the atmosphere of the restaurant, or talking about our experience that I mentioned before. So we can then use this guide planning worksheet. Okay, this I will distribute to you. So later we are going to write your idea over here. So to organize your idea. Okay, so look at the first one. What is the restaurant called? Is it related to what I told you to write just now? The restaurant name, right? Okay, so if the question asked, what food did you try? Yeah, for the second one. So we might write maybe a chicken burger, right? In the McD or the Mary Brown, okay? We can eat chicken burger. But if we only write chicken burger, it will sound like boring, nothing attractive, right? So we can make our writing more interesting by adding some adjective. Okay, so for chicken burger, what adjective that you can you can add in? For example, a juicy chicken burger. So the people will have the imagination in their mind, how was the chicken burger, right? Okay, so we can also refer to our grammar corner. Okay, here is our grammar corner, okay? For food adjective, or the restaurant adjective, or the grammar that we learned from last lesson, which is the simple past, the past continuous, and also the recommendation expressions. All right, so once we have planned our ideas, we are ready to write. Okay.
Okay guys, now it is time for you guys to start writing. Okay, now you need to use the ideas from your planning worksheet and you need to write an 80 to 100 word restaurant review. Remember that your review should include relevant information about the restaurant and the food that you chose, and you should also use suitable adjectives, simple past, past continuous, and recommendation sentences. So here's our little checklist that teacher made for you. Here's this is a quick guide for your writing. So we have here food and restaurant, adjectives, simple past and continuous, recommendation. Okay, good. Now, after completing your first draft, it is time for you to check. Okay, so before submitting your review, check your work carefully. Make sure you have 80 to 100 words. Yes, you have to count the words one by one. And then you need to check your grammar, specifically your past simple and past continuous that you've used throughout your sentences. And then you have to check your spelling, punctuation, and capitalization, whether or not you've used the comma and full stop correctly, if you have used the... Then make sure you have a clear recommendation with a supporting reason. Once you are satisfied with your writing, once you think you have all of these checklists done, if you have used the capital letters or not, now you can upload your final review to our Padlet response wall. So how to upload in Padlet wall? This is the Padlet wall, and you have to simply click this little plus button here, add your name, post your restaurant review.
Well done everyone! Before we finish, let's quickly review what we learned today. First, we look at the 3 restaurant party advertisements and use prediction to guess what information they might have. Next, we use skimming and scanning to find the main ideas and specific information from the advertisements. Then we compare the 3 restaurants and use the 500 budget to choose the best restaurant for our party. Finally, we use the information we found to write our own restaurant's review. For our writing task, remember there are 3 steps. First was plan, write, and check. First, plan your ideas, then write your 80 to 100 restaurants review. Finally, check your grammar, vocabulary, spelling, and punctuations. Remember to use food and restaurant vocabulary, descriptive adjective, past simple and past continuous. Don't forget to give your recommendation too. Lastly, upload your final review to the Padlet response wall. Remember, good writing starts with a good plan. Thank you everyone!